Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Pakstau's decision to grant Ituba Holdings a temporary license for the next 12 months is drawing increasing criticism. Dao says the temporary license will ensure the continuation of lottery operations until the new operator takes over next year. This comes after the Pretoria High Court ruling that dismissed the National Lotteries Commission's bid to appoint Ithuba Lottery as the temporary operator. Let's get more detail now on this decision, and we speak to the chairperson of the board of the National Lotteries Commission, Professor Pane Pityana. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you very much for your time. Let's get some clarity here, because on the 21st of May, the Pretoria High Court ruled that the department could only offer an extension of 5 months to whoever was going to be the temporary license holder. Then it appears there was an appeal on this, and the court, it appears, upheld that very same ruling on the 30th of May. Is that a correct understanding from your end as well?
It is. Good evening, Kholi, and good evening to your viewers. And thank you very much for having me on behalf of the National Lotteries Commission. Yes, indeed, you're quite correct. The Judge Potro set aside the RFP for the temporary license which we had issued, set aside the extension of the availability of the RFP for people to apply, and then she set aside the RFP that would have appointed a temporary operator. The reason she did at the time was that she felt that the arguments of Winanjalo, of the opportunistic nature of the award, was overwhelming. And what we did, and then she said, on the basis of public interest, I will offer a just and equitable suspension of the order that I've made for 5 months because of the public interest of the matter. She cited in particular that it is not in the public interest that the poor and vulnerable of our country should be without recourse in times when they need support. It is not in the public interest, for example, that the grants system of the NLC should not be able to function for any length of time, especially for a time that is indeterminate. And then when we were talking to Ituba at the time, Ituba Lottery, I think it was, at the time, it became quite clear to them that they can never operate a temporary license for a period of 5 months. And they cited for us something like, by the end of 5 months, they will be in debt by about 50 million rand. That seemed to us a fair and just reason to go back to the court and ask for a variation of that order of 5 months.
Yes.
So we are not appealing the decision. We're seeking a variation of the 5 months that Judge Potro had given. Judge Moki, on the other hand, looking at what is required in order to get a variation order, felt that those requirements had not been fulfilled. But he went on to say that he can't change the 5 months, but he sees no reason why the minister cannot use his authority to issue an emergency license to Ituba or anybody for that matter.
Yeah.
It's in light of that on going back to talk to Ituba, it became quite clear that indeed they are quite adamant that they can't make this function properly. although the case law is very clear, the idea is not for the state to guarantee profit to operators. Of course not. But at the same time, the state doesn't want those who operate the public service on behalf of the state should be out of pocket as a result of that.
Yeah.
So it's in the maintenance of that balance that we decided. So the minister, upon review and upon advice from a number of legal people, from the NLC legal advisors, from the minister's own legal advisors, it was all agreed that it is better to take the Judge Muki up on his obiter dictu, the statement that he made, which was not actually part of the decision that he was making.
Okay.
So he made an obiter statement to say there can be no reason why the minister cannot appoint, in an emergency, appoint an operator.
Understood.
It's on that basis, and the minister has quoted the judge on that. On that basis, and also on the basis of case law, that the minister felt able to actually go and say, I will actually use the powers that I have.
All right.
In the public interest.
Just very quickly, I'm sorry to cut in. Just very quickly
yes,
then, Professor, are you aware, as we speak, whether there are any pending legal challenges to this latest decision of extending the temporary license for another 12 months?
Correct. At the moment, as I speak to you, I am not. But I wouldn't be surprised if indeed it is tested. The courts in our country, in our constitutional state, are there to test any dispute. And a whole number of people may be inclined to get this dispute tested because it's novel. It's never happened before, not in this way. And for that reason, it is only fair for whoever is unsure, unhappy about the decision to get it tested by the courts. We're happy with that.
All right, let's talk about Ituba for a moment, because while they are happy to continue with the 12 months operation, it does appear as the outgoing operator that they are unhappy that they have not been awarded this license for, it would appear, another term, another 8-year term. Is that your understanding as well? Because somewhere towards the end, they are quoted in this article. They do appear to say they are considering legal action before deciding on a way forward. Are you aware of what their position is in terms of them not being the winning bidder?
They are on record. Ituba is on record as giving all reasons why they think the decision that was taken is a slap in the face for them and the work they have done for 10 years. And they did fully expect to be awarded the license for a term. They did say that they are considering their options. And again, I say that is fair in our state. If they believe that they are aggrieved by any decisions of the state, the courts are there to test it. And we don't have any reason to be unhappy with them doing that. Of course they are doing that. So they've said it, but at the moment, as far as I know, they have not taken a step yet. Maybe they are considering their options.
And I just want to touch on something that they say here. They're saying Ituba Lottery has invested significantly in developing the first African central lottery system owned and developed by, or developed for Africa by South Africans. What do you read into that statement? Because it would appear that theirs was not only just South Africa focused, but also looking out or outwardly toward the continent as a whole. What is it that they've done, to your knowledge, because they name a number of things here in terms of investing significantly in small companies. What is it that they are crying out for here?
Indeed, I think the system, the central gaming system that they have developed has in fact been certified by the World Lotteries Association now. And what they are saying, I'm not disputing, and we don't dispute that. It is fair to say that they have developed a central gaming system which is not otherwise found in Africa as far as we know. But that was not the only issue that was at issue in the adjudication. At the time of the adjudication, let me go on to say, the central gaming system had not been certified by the World Lotteries Association. So in a sense, at the time when the adjudication was taking place, they did not have that authority of the World Lotteries Association for their central gaming system. In any event, there are something like 20 adjudication factors that are brought in, and they are all properly scored by the adjudication committee, and on the basis of which the minister then looks at everything in total and comes to his own decision. The minister does not have.
Yes.
The minister does not have to accept what the adjudication committee report gave to him. He is supposed to apply his mind and make his decision.
All right. Based on our communication here, Professor, it would appear that the legal challenges are going to come, and in any case, you seem to be ready for those because you appear to accept that this is par for the course, so to speak.
Correct.
The new winners, the new lottery holder, which is Sizekaya Holdings, they're only going to start on the 1st of June next year. Now, there already is disquiet about them possibly being politically exposed persons, and that is not even a possibility. We know that one of the office bearers there, Mr. Sandile Zungu, not too long ago was contesting the chairmanship of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. Would Ituba not have been a safe bidder, seeing that the minister also relies very, very heavily on your advice, even on the question of the temporary license holder? It was, he quotes you, the NLC, as being the people that he took advice from. So I'm saying on the strength, on the balance of everything, given the court challenges that may come, would Ituba not have been the safest bet?
I'm not able to say that as a person. The minister is entitled to a decision that the minister takes and the minister is responsible for, after taking into consideration all the factors that are available to him. And he must be ready and able to account for the decision that he's taken. So as a decision maker, the law grants him that duty to make a decision. So I'm not a decision maker in this instance. I'm if anything, an advisor to the minister. The board are simply advisors to the minister. But at the end of the day, the minister is empowered by law to make a decision that is proper in law, that is lawful in law, that is correct. And the minister is convinced that he, in the circumstances, he has come to a decision that he can stand by.
Professor Pani-Pityana, thank you very much once again for giving us your time, chairperson of the board at the National Lotteries Commission.